Y'all, it is literally 12:40 in the morning and I'm filming. Dedication, boo, dedication. But hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's the Melanin SRNA and I am back with a new video. If you are new here, thank you so much for watching. Definitely click that subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell notification, that way you're notified every time I upload. And if you are returning, thank you so much for returning and watching my video. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing some tips and tricks about mom life. As many of you may already know, if you do not know, I am currently in CRNA school. I started CRNA school when I had an 8-week-old baby, 2 months, whatever you want to call it. She's currently 10 months exactly today, and I'm going to be answering a lot of you all's questions regarding like how I juggle school and her and taking care of her and everything like that. I'll also be, you know, sharing my tips and kind of giving some advice if you would like. So I get this question a lot, so let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, she's 10 months old now, so I know that with a lot of previous videos, I will link them up here in the cards. I spoke about when she was younger, I sleep trained her. That was huge in my routine when I first was in, you know, first getting back into school, getting back into a routine, was I definitely made sure that I kept her on a routine. It was so important for me to keep her on a routine, and it was important for me when the time had come to sleep train her that I went ahead and did it. So if you would like a sleep training video and more details about the things that I did to sleep train my daughter, I can definitely do that. Just make sure you comment down below, let me know that you're interested in a dedicated video to sleep training. But just a little bit like of cliff notes regarding what sleep training is. Basically, you sleep train your child. For me, it was keeping her on a 7 to 7 schedule, so she would go to bed at 7 p.m. and wake up at 7 a.m. with no interruptions throughout the night. And then it meant kind of keeping her feeding schedule during the day really structured, that way she could sleep a full 12 hours. She did that and it worked wonderful. Of course, you know, like the 4th month regression or the 9 or 10 month regression, when they do have, we're a little rough, but it's easy to kind of, once you start implementing those you know, sleep training tools, it's easy to kind of get them back to their routine. So sleep training was huge for me and keeping her on a routine was huge for me. However, when it came time during these last few months, I would say probably when she was like 7 to 8 months, and even now that she's like 10 months, she's like, by the time she started like crawling, so like scooting around and kind of getting around, and when she started figuring out how to like use items to like stand up, it has now become a little bit tougher to kind of, you know, do my normal routine. So I think it was about October, November when she started really like getting around on her own, not walking, but just kind of figuring out how to like, you know, maneuver around the room. I started implementing more toys for her to kind of keep her busy and keep her entertained, which the toys really doesn't help as much. It can kind of keep her occupied for maybe 20 to 30 minutes, but she is super attached to me. It is getting extremely hard to kind of keep her in her own little play area. So I will insert some. So this is a play mat that I currently have. I got it from Amazon, and then these are a few of her toys that she has. I'm actually getting a ball pit for her this weekend. It's actually like a small ball pit that should be able to fit right here. So watch my upcoming vlogs because I will feature it in there as well. But it's big enough for her to be able to play in, and I'm also getting her like this custom wooden ladder that her aunt is going to get for her that will actually kind of, that she can kind of crawl into and like land in the ball pit as well. So I'm hoping like that can kind of keep her entertained, but this is like a little her little play area for and a couple of like vlog clips of like kind of like my current setup now as to like when I study, how I study, and what I do to keep her entertained. I recently just got her a play mat because I have hardwood floors on my main level, so I just get a bunch of toys. I didn't initially buy a lot of toys in the beginning, so I have just started to slowly implement toys in her like kind of playtime routine. So I just buy toys as needed to kind of see like what she likes, what she doesn't like, and she does like keep herself entertained. TV doesn't really help so much because there isn't a show that she absolutely loves and she'll sit there and watch. I'm hoping that when she gets older there will be a show. So I have a love-hate relationship. I like the fact that she's not really crazy into TV, but I don't like the fact because I can't like just put something on and kind of keep her entertained as well. So some of the things that I use to keep her entertained or just kind of get my studying done. So of course her schedule throughout the day has changed a little bit. She still wakes up at 7 o'clock in the morning. On the weekends she might wake up at like 8 or 8:30 depending on if she's had a good night. So of course I feed her, and she's now eating table foods. She does really well with that. She only takes one nap throughout the day, and that's from noon to about, she'll take like an hour to 2 hour nap. So I normally would try to like sleep or so throughout her naps, but I take that time to study. So I take that time to either study or work out. More so studying comes before that anyway, so I try to get a lot of my studying done. And then what I like to do is just kind of keep her entertained throughout the day. I really don't have like a rhyme or reason or a method. It's really just giving her toys to play with, either having her in her little walker while she's like walking around, kind of alternating between like putting snacks on her play mat so she can play, and sometimes she'll just kind of go to her play mat and play and then come back to me. And then sometimes I do have to like stop, pick her up, kind of play with her, kind of give her a little bit of attention, and I kind of just work that out depending on my mood. And then of course after she goes to bed, which is about 7 or 8 o'clock, is when I really get a lot of my studying done. So it's really just what works for you. Keep in mind that it's really just me. It's me by myself. My husband works a lot of the time, so it's really just me and her. If I was back home and I had like my mom or like my best friend, I can, you know, bring her over there, bring her around other kids to kind of play and, you know, have like a playtime to where I can get more studying done. But this is kind of just what works for me. Sometimes I'll bring her up here to like my little office area and have her play around in here just because it's carpet and I don't have to worry about her hitting her head so much. And she'll just get into little things. But for me personally, it's just a little bit harder because I'm constantly always worried about what is she doing or what is she getting into, or you know, you have that like mom 360 vision, like she's too quiet, like what is she doing? So of course sometimes that takes a lot of my attention away, but I just do it. Like I really just figure it out and I just do it. I mean, complaining really doesn't help. I can complain till I'm blue in the face about the fact that I have to take care of my child and study at the same time, but I knew what I was getting into coming to CRNA school, so I really can't really complain about it. I just make it work. So and some other methods that I do use is, you know, sometimes I will, of course, like the TV is always on, so sometimes she does find entertainment and sometimes I just have to give in. If she wants the damn remote, I just give it to her so she can just be entertained. That way I can get, you know, some of my studying done. And then whenever my husband is home from work and he's off, he definitely pitches in and takes her for me, and of course I get a lot of my studying done there. But you know, it is difficult when you don't have like more supportive people around you. And what I mean by that is, like, of course, like my husband's here, but that's like the only person I have. I don't have anybody that I trust to leave her with, like besides myself or my husband or like her godmother. As far as like when I go to school, my husband, thank God, is able to make his own schedule, so he watches her while I go to school, and when school is over, I come home and I, you know, take over. Yeah, that's just kind of like what we're doing right now. We do that mainly because it's easy for us. I mean, he's able to change his schedule, so it really works out, and two, it saves money. When it comes time for me to go to clinicals, I will be going to clinicals, of course, more time throughout the week. I think like for the first 6 months we'll be required to do at least 40 hours every week. So I have it in such a way that either like her godmother or like my mom will kind of alternate with my husband and watch her back and forth. It is not impossible to have a child. It's not impossible to have a child while you're in not just the RNA school, nursing school, whatever school you're in. It is not impossible to do it. Of course, like plenty of people do it every single day. But one word of advice that I would definitely want to give you, and I feel like I definitely want to share, just coming from my own personal experience, is, you know, people will tend to make you feel bad for having responsibilities that you know that you are obligated to, which I'm like, I don't know why, because it's none of their business. But this is speaking from my personal experience, and as of recently, people try to make you feel bad because you're a mom and you're going to school, and you may sometimes have to leave class early to go, you know, take care of your child or whatever it may be. But that doesn't mean that you're less than anybody else. Like, you just have to work a little bit harder, and that's okay. As long as you get the work done and you do what you're supposed to do, regardless of if you have a child or not, I think that's what matters the most. You know, my first obligation is to my daughter. Like, at the end of the day, like, she depends on me. So if I'm not there, if I'm not willing to be there, then who else is she going to depend on? So I think a lot of people that either don't have kids or have never birthed a child can't really fully grasp that, and it's unfortunate because as a mom, you know how much we bust our ass, excuse me, but you know how much we bust our ass to do what we need to do for our kid and do what we need to do for ourselves. And I just want to say, don't ever let anybody take that from you, and don't ever let anybody make you feel less than, because you have to do what you have to do as a mom, and for your child and for yourself in the end of the day. So that's my little word of advice. I know these are probably not like the greatest tips, but I really don't have any like concrete tips, because I'm honestly still trying to figure this whole mom thing out myself. But my best tip is, if you have a little one and you are starting school or anything like that, or even if you don't have a little one and they're not little anymore, definitely put them on a schedule. Like, have a routine for them. I feel like having a routine for my daughter, even when she was so young and even now, like, she still has a routine even though it's changed, has really helped me in just structuring my life and structuring my study routine completely. And it just works for me, and it works for her as well, because I know when it's 5:30, I know she's gonna get cranky as hell, and I know I'm gonna have to just push through until 6, give her dinner, let her get dirty, and give her a bath. And I know by 8 o'clock she's down, and I am just free for like the next 12 hours. So definitely take advantage of this. I honestly feel so stressed sometimes, but I have to remind myself that, like, these are going to be like the best years that I would forever cherish. And I feel like I'm so blessed to be able to spend every single day with her. She's about to be a year old in 2 months, and I'm just like, oh my god, I cannot believe I'm gonna have a 1-year-old. Like, what in the but yeah, these are gonna be the best years ever. So definitely don't take them for granted, and enjoy every minute of it. Being a mom is literally the most amazing thing life can bring. And I know people say that and it sounds so cheesy, but I thought it was cheesy pre-baby, but it honestly is the best thing ever. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're a mom and you have like many other routines, especially even as like, you know, I'm hitting like that toddler stage, definitely comment down below and give me some good tips. Anything that you would suggest that I try as she's like growing in this like amazing phase. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all in another video.